coming to you live from New York City. You're watching Astrology Numerology now for Monday, March 14th, 2016. I'm your host, life coach, your Astro life coach, Z Starman, where every week at this time, we bring you the latest astrology news and information live from New York City. Real astrology, real numerology in real time. We are live on the air live from Manhattan Neighborhood Network Television Studios. Now, if you don't know anything about astrology or about numerology, I want you to keep it locked where it is. Later on in the show, you can call the show. I want all my friends from around the country and around the world who are watching this show on mnn.org to give me a call. 212-757-1393 is the number to call for the latest astrology, numerology, news, and information. And we got a lot going on for our last show of winter 2016. And this is the last of winter. We're counting down the days to the first day of the spring year. Now, we want to say goodbye to Pisces. I'm going to say goodbye to Pisces because Pisces time is ending. I like to say happy birthday to the Pisces who are watching the show. It's September 14th. Pisces time ends in 6 days. So I want to say happy birthday to all my Pisces people who are watching the show. Special shout outs to a couple of good Pisces friends, Dalthinette Munlin out of Brooklyn, New York, who's watching the show. Her birthday is March 15th. Beware the Ides of March. Happy birthday, Douthie. She's been a singer on the show I produce, Sister Talk, and her birthday is the 15th. And also, my very good buddy, who we have tremendous astrology conversations with, I call her the Hawaiian goddess. The Hawaiian goddess, that's my good buddy, Sharon French, whose birthday is this Thursday, St. Patrick's Day. So happy birthday to all the Pisces. We want you to call the show. And happy birthday, Sharon. We want you to call the show so you can get ready for spring 2016. As I said before, do we have that graphic control room? The picture of Pisces. I want to say happy birthday to Pisces. There it is right there. Happy birthday to all the Pisces as we're counting down Pisces. But starting on Sunday, the sun will be in the sign of Aries. The sun will be in the sign of Aries. So if you got Aries rising sign or your sun sign is Aries, Aries time begins this Sunday at 12:33 a.m. Right after midnight, the sun enters the sign of Aries. So you got Aries rising sign or sun sign in Aries. Happy birthday. We're going to talk more about that. But what I want to talk about next is the spring equinox that's coming up. And this is what the big news is. It's the end of the astrological new year, and the spring equinox begins Sunday, March 20th, 2016 at 12:29 a.m. Now, let's say, hold it right there. Let's go back, control room, to that last picture. Now, the spring equinox begins this Sunday, 12:29 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, the point I want to make, now in California, the spring equinox begins 3 hours earlier. So it's the 19th. So spring begins on the 19th of March in California, in Hawaii, because it's 3 hours behind us. In Chicago, the spring equinox begins on the 19th. So in New York, it begins at 12:29 a.m. Now let's hold that shot, control room, right there. What is the spring equinox? First of all, the spring equinox means equal light. So supposedly there's 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of sunlight. Now, as this says, as we see in this graphic, the spring equinox happens when direct lights of the sun hits the equator. So the sun is ascending or rising from underneath the equator where it's been the summer in Australia and in South Africa and in Madagascar. Now the sun is traveling back to the Earth's equator. So this is where the equinox begins. The spring equinox begins March 20th, 12:29 a.m. The equinox happens simultaneously all over the planet, but just at different times. So at 12:29 a.m., this Sunday, it's the spring equinox. We're live from New York City. I'm Z Starman, professional astrologer, numerologist, and your Astro Life Coach. Now, before we open up the phone lines at 212-757-1393, I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more about the spring equinox and what to do. And we're going to talk about resolutions. You know, like people make New Year's resolutions on January 1st. Now is the time to make your spring equinox resolutions starting on March 20th. The sun is exalted, or the sun works best in the sign of Aries, or whenever it enters the sign of Aries. So like people make resolutions on January 1st. I think it's ridiculous that people make resolutions on January 1st, especially living in the North. People making resolutions when in the North, most of the time on January 1st, you make resolution, it's too cold to run, and it's too cold to do this. And we had, let's say this year, we had a blizzard 3 weeks after the new year began. So the best time to make New Year's resolutions is at the start of spring or at the start of Aries. Let's show them the graphic one more time, control room. Plant your ideals now. Now is the time for cleansing. Now is the time to clean up. Spring equinox is the start of the astrological new year, and it's excellent for Aries people and other fire sign people like Leo and Sagittarius, and it's good for the air sign people like Gemini, making a sextile, and Aquarius and Libra. Although it's in its opposite right now when it's in Libra, but the spring equinox, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now is the time to make resolutions or reinforce the ones that you started on January 1st. It's okay to pick it up and say, well, I'm going to pick up my New Year's resolutions. Now the best time for any New Year's resolution is the first day of spring. Let's show them one more time, control room, the first day of spring, March 20th, 2016 at 12:33 a.m. Let's go back to the other picture. Let's show them the equinox. March 20th, 2016, the spring equinox began. We're a little bit ahead of ourselves, but that's what astrology is all about. We're ahead of ourselves. We plan because we want to see where the planets and later on in the show numbers are working in our favor. One New Year's resolution for everybody is to get to know yourself from an astrology point of view and a numerology point of view. Not knowing your astrology chart in 2016 is the equivalent of not knowing how to use a computer, not knowing how to surf the internet for information, not having an email address. There's more to you than just being an Aquarius or being a Pisces or being a Virgo or being a Sagittarius. The other planets, they're in signs too, and this makes up the totality of your astrological profile. All Pisces are different, all Aries are different, all Geminis are different. So if you make one New Year's resolution, get to know who you are from an astrology and numerology point of view. My control room is telling me that we got calls and they're standing by. So let's go to the phone line. 212-757-1393 is the number to call to talk to Z Starman. Who's lucky enough to get through? Caller, you're on the air with Z Starman.
Good evening, Z Starman. This is Sandra, your neighbor from Harlem.
Hey, Sandra, how are you?
I'm blessed, sir, and yourself.
Thanks for calling the show.
Yeah, well, I've tried to get through it quite a few times here.
Well,
but I
thank you
couldn't find
for
out
watching.
First
Thank you.
and foremost, my birthday is March 13th, 1958, which was yesterday.
Well, happy belated birthday, or happy birthday. It's still
Well,
your
thank
birthday.
you. I appreciate it.
March
I'll say
13th,
this here. Every day is my birthday here, but the 13th was the day that I came.
Especially in the month of March. Now, you have a lot to look forward to, and we're going to begin from a numerology point of view. From a numerology point of view, Sandra, is that this is a number 7 universal year for you. In a numerology, things run from 1 to 9, and then we have master numbers like 11, 22, and 33. But this is a number 7 universal year, and this is a year where you're going to have to get back to yourself. You're going to have to, you're going to really have to get in touch with yourself. And sometimes with this number 7, it means spending a lot of time alone by yourself.
Okay.
You know, separate yourself not from family but friends, but really reconnecting with yourself from a spiritual point of view.
Okay, can I ask you one question?
You can ask me anything.
How did you come up with the number 7 universal year?
Okay, well, let me repeat this. Not a number 7 universal year, but a number 7 personal year.
Oh, okay.
And how we get that number, Sandra, is, and anybody can do it, the mathematics in your head, especially for 2016. Now, we add your birthday, March 13th. 3 plus 1 plus 3 equals 7. And we add it to the current calendar year of 2016. So 2016, my shortcut, 2016 is a number 9. So anytime, this is one of the laws of mathematics, anytime you add a number to the number 9, the sum total is the number you added. So let's say if someone who's watching the show, their birthday is June 1st, that's a number 7 also. Let's say if their birthday is May 2nd, they're in a number 7 year also. Let's say if their birthday is April 3rd, 4 plus 3 is 7. So since it's 2016, I sort of kind of just eliminate the number 9 or the calendar year and just simply add a person's birthday.
Okay.
So you're in that number 7 personal year for 2013. 2016 is a number 7. Now I'm going to look up your.
You mean 9? 2016? 9? Number 9?
Right, 2016. We add 2016 by itself, the year 2016. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6 equals the number 9.
Correct.
And again, my math shortcut. Anybody who wants to know their personal year, just simply add your month and day of birth onto the current calendar year of 2016. Now, if we did that, I did a shortcut, Sandra. If we did that, 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6 equals the number 16.
Correct.
And 1 plus 6 equals 7. Again, everybody just add your birthday. Make it simple. Just add your month and day of birth to get your personal year in 2016. Now, your moon sign, again.
That's what was my next question. I want to know, how do you know your moon sign, your sun sign, and your rising sign?
Well, that's determined by your birth time, what your rising sign is. But astrologers, we use something that's called an ephemeris. An ephemeris gives us a list of planetary positions for any date in history. So I can look up and see where the other planets are on the day you were born. Now, when it says that you're Pisces, that we're talking about one thing, that's your sun sign. But the moon is in a sign, Mercury's in a sign, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they're all in signs at the time you were born, and along with your birth time and your location, this makes up the totality of your astrological profile. Now, your moon, what time were you born?
3 o'clock a.m.
3 a.m. So we're going to take a look and see where the moon is in Sandra's chart. And if you want to talk astrology and numerology with me, and again, I said, this is the astrological new year. Everybody get ready and know yourself from an astrology and numerology point of view. A lot of you are in relationships and you don't know the sign or the birthday of the person that you're in a relationship with. So get that information out. You can call me. I can tell you about it. 3 a.m., Sandra?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, your moon sign. Your moon sign is Capricorn.
Oh.
You're a Pisces with the moon in Capricorn. Now, I know you because you're my neighbor.
Yes,
but
sir.
your moon sign talks about who you are emotionally. And emotionally, some people may think of you as mean, as quiet. You don't do a lot of talking when I see you in the neighborhood, but you know, you're very serious. And people with the moon in Capricorn, since Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, they come off to be very serious. But you have Venus in the sign of Aquarius, and a lot of you're a people person because you're very active with the Block Association. So you're a people person, to say the least. But now is a great time for you because there's 4 planets in the sign of Pisces right now. So any other Pisces, if you got Pisces rising, listen to the show. This is a great time to sort of kind of get things done right now.
So what is the rising? You said that I have 4 planets.
The rising sign, I can't bring it up right now, but I'm going to guesstimate, since you're born at 3 a.m., your rising sign could be Aquarius, or let's say, no, excuse me, not Aquarius, but either Sagittarius or Capricorn. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But your rising sign shows how you appear to be to other people before they know you're a Pisces, before they know that you're got moon sign in Capricorn. Your rising sign is how you look to other people and how you express yourself back to other people. But Sandra, I want you to call me. You got my number. Call me after the show. We got other people standing by, and thanks for calling the show, okay?
Well, thank you so very much, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. 212-757-1393. Get ready for spring 2016. Again, you know, not knowing who you, this is 2016, not 2006, 1996, not 1986, but we're living in the age of Aquarius, where we know ourselves from an astrology and numerology point of view. Up next, Venus is in the sign of Pisces. Venus is in the sign of Pisces and went into Pisces on Saturday. There we see a picture of Venus. That's what Venus looks like from outer space. So Venus is in the sign of Pisces. Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces, and it'll be in Pisces March 12th to April 5th. Great time for all you Pisces. Great time for people like if you got Pisces rising sign, and also good for all the other water signs like Scorpio and Cancer. It's going to be challenging for Sagittarius and Virgos because Venus is opposite Virgo. But Venus works best in the sign of Pisces, and it's going to be in Pisces from March the 12th until April 5th. Up next, before we run out of time, also occurring on March 20th is that we have a conjunction of Venus conjunct Neptune in the sign of Pisces. And that's going to happen at March 20th at 1:44 p.m. So Venus conjunct Neptune, what's a conjunction? A conjunction is a mixture of more than one planet in the same sign. So don't get fooled by the conjunction. Don't get fooled by the illusions. A lot of people fall in love and it doesn't work out. Neptune is the planet of delusion and illusion. So beware of Venus conjunct Neptune. They're right next to each other on the first day of spring. Another thing that we got going on in a couple of weeks is we're going to have our second eclipse of March 2016, whereas we have a lunar eclipse. We have a lunar eclipse The sun is going to be in the sign of Aries, and the moon is going to be in a Libra. So this is what the eclipse is going to look like. This is called a prenumbral eclipse. And so part of the Earth's shadow is going to be, or in this case, about 80% of the Earth's shadow is going to be covering the Earth. We won't be able to see this eclipse in New York, but we'll be able to see it if you're living in California, or if you're living in Hawaii, or if you're living in Chicago, in the early part of the morning, you'll be able to see it. One thing about eclipses is that eclipses always affect sun sign Cancer people. Sun sign Cancer, because the moon is ruled by the eclipse. So Cancer people, keep your eyes open. We're moving very quickly. Saturn will be retrograde coming up in a couple of weeks. Just want y'all to know that. Saturn is retrograde March 25th to August 13th. And if you're ruled by the sign of Capricorn, this is something that you have to get ready for. That's the Saturn retrograde from March 25th to August 13th in the sign of Sagittarius. That's where the retrograde is going to be. And last but not least, the month of March. We have 2 more weeks of March. The month of March is a 3 universal month. March is a 3 universal month. Again, the 3 is the number of creativity, if you're an artist, if you're a singer, dancer, actor, or painter, now is the time to get your creativity on. March is a 3 universal month. Do we have another call? Can I take a quick call? We got less than a minute to go. Caller, you're on the air with Z Starman. Okay, my control room says we don't have time for another phone call. I want to thank my producer, there's her name, Dietrich Kelsey, Mickey Hollade, BCAT producer, and also Gary Brown, my audio engineer, and my technical director, the lovely Josie Ann Hurd. We'll be back next week live from New York City. This is Z Starman saying Happy Spring 2016. Namaste.